Namaste and welcome to this live recording with me, Ali Latrobe. So this recording is going out hopefully onto YouTube and also will be recorded for my podcast. So if you haven't found my podcast yet, you will need to check out Astrological Alchemy with me, Ali Latrobe. So let's get into it. This meditation and talk today is all about our full moon that we find ourselves in the approach of. We are moving through Sagittarius season. So when the sun moves through these different phases between the equinoxes and solstice, we have these kind of three parts between each, whether it's an equinox to a solstice like now, or from a solstice to an equinox like the next stage that we're going to go into. We've divided into these three parts, and this is essentially the tropical zodiac. So this final part as we approach the winter solstice is Sagittarius season. So it's like that final third between the autumn equinox and the winter solstice. Or if you're in the southern hemisphere, the spring equinox and the summer solstice. And so this is our mutable fire sign. And I've talked a lot about Sagittarius in the episode before this one that you'll find on Astrological Alchemy on Spotify. So essentially, Sagittarius is the sign. It's symbolic of the archer and the arrow. It's this moving, impulsive, adventurous, going and seeking more and more knowledge, wisdom, understanding, just going and experiencing something new. So that can show itself in wanting to go other places, wanting to have adventures, wanting to get into new things like fads or hobbies or learning things. It kind of rules higher education and philosophy and religion. It's like looking to beyond kind of our regular learning, going further, going beyond, going to the next stage. So what we're going to consider today when we're thinking about what the full moon is all about right now is we have to think about the polarity that is established between the sun and the moon. The moon representing our kind of more emotional state, our habitual patterns, and the sun being more like our higher, kind of a higher will and our personality, the way that we shine, the way that we show ourselves. So obviously in a natal chart, if you are born in the day, your sun is like the most bright celestial body that, so bright that you can't see any of the other ones. And it is the natural path of least resistance. So here we have Sagittarius influencing our personality to want to go and explore, to want to adventure, to want to do something. It's got a lot of energy. It wants to go places and do things. And it can sometimes be a little bit dispersed. It's mutability, it's changeability. And then we have the moon in Gemini, the opposite sign to Sagittarius, but they're both masculine signs. There's still a polarity. It's not like they're completely different. They're actually part of a same polarity. They relate to each other, but they're extremes on this. They're extremes on the same line. And Gemini, we have an air mutable sign. And instead of it being more about kind of the big quests, the big adventures, the places further and beyond that we can explore and go to, and we take action and we put our fire into it, all that energy. Gemini is far more in the realm of thoughts. And so it's more about how the thoughts think us on a daily basis, the ideas, the short-term connections that we can make, the linking up of things that are actually quite close to us, bringing it all together into a network, bridging things together, bringing things together. Sometimes it can make us quite scatty. It's ruled by the hands. I'm a Gemini sun with Mars in Gemini also, so I have a lot of, it's busy in the mind, it's expressive in the hands. It wants to join up lots of ideas, and often it wants to communicate them out as well. And it's got so many ideas, it's doing it quite in a fast way. So the kind of common theme between that is this kind of mutability and the yang-like nature. It can be very disturbed mentally. It can be very disturbed in our actions, like just doing so much to a point of burning out, anxiety of the mind, like a lot of thinking, a lot of linking up all the data and the information that we are getting. We have from Gemini ruled by, in a traditional sense, ruled by Mercury, to the Jupiter ruled Sagittarius sign. We have the difference between looking at all the small little bits of detail and the data and all the news articles and all the social media and all those little points. That's Mercury, that's Gemini. And that agitates our mind and affects our emotional body. Gemini, the moon is in Gemini. It can agitate our emotional body, our feelings, right? Whereas the Jupiter ruled Sagittarius is saying, where can I expand into? Where is my, what is my bigger vision? Where is my bigger story, my bigger vision for myself? Where is that to be? Where is the next place? As long as it doesn't become, oh, this is exciting and this is exciting and I want to go there and I want to go there and I want to learn this and I want to do that. And with the Gemini energy thinking about all these things, we can get very torn. We can get very pulled apart. And it is a full moon. We have to remember that, what in the cycle of new to full moon, we have the new moon being like the seeds, the beginnings of something. And the full moon is it's like the peak, the point of kind of that we can start exhaling, like the thing has happened or the cycle has kind of reached its fruition and we can kind of let go and allow it to fall and decompose so that on the next new moon we can receive the next thing that we're going to cycle around all of the lunar cycles. So this, this full moon, as any full moon, can be emotional. We can be swayed, we can be affected, our waters can be very moved and changeable. That said, we don't, this polarity doesn't include any water signs. So how are we going to be moved? Are we going to be moved impulsively, the Sagittarius sun kicking in, particularly those of you who have natal fiery placements, that are naturally quick to say or do something without the thought beforehand. So really utilizing Gemini's energy of thinking about finding the best way of communicating and getting a message across that maybe impulsively wants to come out very quickly or without being screened before it is released into the world. And then on a Gemini level, we've got the two-faced side of the Gemini coin. We have the two parts of ourselves. We have that which is waning and that which is waxing. We have a soul, we have a personality, sometimes ruled by an ego that doesn't want to be broken and lost forever, or whatever story, whatever identity it is that we're holding on to. We can't remain, whatever that age is that you can't let go of, we can't remain 28 or 19 or whenever was your best year forever. Good times have to pave way for hard times, and the cycle continues. It's never continuous. So, on the Gemini side, the question is, are you being two-faced in some way? Are you saying something to someone so that, because that's going to keep the peace, because that's going to keep the status quo, because that's easier route? Or are you going to speak from your soul? Are you going to communicate with your soul and speak that truth, Gemini's truth? Are you going to intuit and know what's right for you, know where your next quest is, and speak from that place of soul calling and what wants to naturally come forth from your heart, not from just your head? So listening in to those whispers of the soul that may be coming from a more impulsive place right now. And if you're struggling to hear any kind of glimmers of wisdom, listen into your body. Your body is so intelligent. It's going to be telling you, when when there's a lack of your natural joyful expression of how you want to live. And it's so easy to write the list of why you're in a certain place, or things aren't working, or you're finding things hard, or why you're not living that joyful life. But this full moon is really, I invite you to spend a moment to write down a list of the things that do bring joy. Where's your Jupiter wanting to expand into? Where does your heart want to lead you? These are the big Sagittarius questions. And then Gemini can get involved by actually bringing the ideas to how that big vision can actually come about. Gemini is the networker, the connector, So keeping that connection from an intuitive place, the higher vision, the Jupiterian higher vision, to communicating and soulfully expressing what that is, linking up with the people that you need to link up to make that a reality. Learning the things that you need to learn, reading the things that you need to read, establishing, the words that need to be spoken. And Jupiter is trining the moon right now. So it's a real supportive aspect for this full moon. So there's a support of your emotions if you allow Jupiter to expand you. If you breathe out and on the exhale, soften the edges, soften those walls, those fixed things in your life that are stopping you from revealing your truth, from living from your heart, from being your whole self. We do have to note that we have a couple of shifts in sign over the last week. We have Mars moving into Sagittarius, so there's this extra drive to put our power, our passion into going forth into the world toward this new vision, but an extra spark upon things that are maybe too impulsive. So really catch yourself. If you are in the Northern Hemisphere, we are approaching winter solstice. This is a real time for taking an inward look, a slowing down. Don't ride out there on your horse and start the thing right now. Do the Gemini thing. Have a think about it. Communicate. Talk to your friends. Talk to your siblings. Talk to the people that are your soul sisters and your soul brothers, and connect in with them and make it make the action in ideas. Make it a clear vision. And then, yeah, we also have to note we have this Venus and Pluto conjunction that is going to be a triple conjunction, because Venus is going to move back in the sky from tomorrow. So we have this 6-week long period of Venus retrograde, and Venus and Pluto together. Yes, sometimes it can be about revisiting things in relationships, power dynamics particularly. But also it could be hidden depths, things that haven't been fully integrated, of patterns that you repeat in relationships, or in ways that you relate to yourself, to your soul. And that Pluto is asking you to break down some of those old and outdated ways that you relate to yourself and relate to others. Those, belief systems and, shadow parts of yourself that you haven't integrated, particularly in the sphere of relationship. So what's your big vision there? What are the things in your relationships? What are the ways that you've been working that need to change, that need a degree of alchemy, that need to be seen for what they are, acknowledged? And Venus is sitting 3 times. So you're going to have this repeat over the next 6 weeks. Watch for the themes that arise in your relationships, and take the Jupiterian bigger picture look at things, expand upwards. Let that Jupiter in Aquarius, shortly to be Pisces, but right now it's the future orientated. How am I going to expand into the new, vision on things? Yeah, so this time is it's a nice full moon, as long as we give that awareness to our relationships and our old habitual shadow-like patterns. And yeah, for a lot of you, it's Christmas time. It's full of the good stuff. It's full of the stuff that we can really consciously observe, see. Oh, I'm doing that again. Instead of passing the blame on, look for the things that you can take responsibility for, and allow your truth and your soul to stand forth, to transform them, to do something different, to do it in a way that actually fills you with joy. So we're going to do a short meditation just to see what we can receive on this full moon evening. I hope that for you it is an insightful one. It doesn't matter if this isn't bang on full moon. The full moon meditations are really good, potent 3 days before and even up to 3 days after. So if you're listening to this afterwards, you're still good, right? So we're going to ground through either our sits bones or our feet. Draw the spine up nice and tall. Breathing into the heart. Take a big inhale and exhale. I'm going to bring one hand and then the other hand onto the heart, the chest area. Feeling the beat of your heart and just breathing it into the chest. Letting that breath fill your chest smoothly and evenly. And then bringing your eye gaze inwards and upwards to your third eye, bringing the tongue to the palate of the mouth, opening up the crown of your head, visualizing a full moon above your head amid a darkened sky. And grounding back down through the spine, down into the sits bones, down into the earth beneath you. See if you can allow that light to softly fall down like snowflakes. There's a softness to its falling. With the exhale, letting go. With the inhale, allowing in. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhaling, 2, 3. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keeping going in your own rhythm, seeing if you can exhale a little more. Allow it to be slow and smooth. Feel your chest rising on that inhale. Feel your crown opening as your heart opens to receive that light. What is the big picture that needs to be communicated? What is the big picture that needs to be communicated? What is your vision? What does your heart need to expand? What does your heart need to expand? Watch the thoughts that come and go. Eye gaze inwards and upwards, looking and opening up. And gently grounding down again back to the earth, rooting yourself, watching your breath coming in and out through your nostrils. Knowing that the year ahead, you're going to let this heart lead. Giving that heart permission to lead. Visualizing in your mind's eye the adventure that awaits you, probably with just simple small changes. Maybe for some of you there's some big ones there too. The ones that you visualize, just make sure they feel abundant, they feel expansive, they feel joyful. And with this vision in your mind, just feel that heart lift. Feel your mind open to all that is. Sounding Om 3 times, or just listening, taking an inhale and exhale. Inhaling for Om. 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 Just feeling what you have to feel, knowing what you have to know, and being all that you are. Namaste. So until next time, I hope you have a peaceful and joyful end of this 2021. And let's 2022 be a beautiful, expansive, creative year for us all. Join me again. I will be on the podcast for the next half moon in the next week. And then back on YouTube for the next full moon in January. So until next time.